Hello. Hi, everyone. I think that should be me live. Well, nice to meet everybody here virtually. I guess I can't see you. You can see me. Um, Thanks for joining me for this pretty topical chat we're going to have on B2B marketing, B2B advertising in light of everything that is Corona. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this presentation with everyone that I've put together. It's a PowerPoint. So let me just get that up for everyone. Fantastic. So we're here to talk about B2B lead gen in the coronavirus era. And so effectively, this has come out of, I run a digital marketing agency. We actually tend to focus on B2B marketing. We have lots of B2B clients. And obviously, since this all kicked off, basically in February, we had lots of discussions with them around what their response was going to be and specifically how they were going to use their digital marketing to their advantage, potentially to capitalize on some opportunities that there actually are. And I want to kind of go through that because we really see how it's affected all sorts of different industries and all sorts of responses that are working. So I think I'm quite uniquely placed to give you, out of the 100 conversations I must have had since this all kicked off, I've really seen some trends, and hopefully you're going to get out of this presentation some of those trends and apply them directly to your thinking, and to then at the end of this to give you some really practical tips on specific channels you should be using, how you should be looking at those. And I'm going to link to lots of further information. We'll get to my bio in a bit, and I'll introduce that extra information for you. So the agenda of this call is just quickly not quickly, but to go through the sort of content strategy for you, the content marketing side of things, the branding side of things. And you need to decide what camp you're in based on what's happened. Are you in the reframe and go, or are you in the pause and brand? And I'm really going to challenge everyone on this webinar. The reframe and go is much more of a reactionary, taking the bull by the horns, actually trying to sort of jujitsu this situation into helping your business. And the pause and brand is also a category of people that are perhaps much more affected and need to use this time for much more strategic long-term thinking. But I've seen through, the more conversations I have with companies that thought they were in the latter position, they've actually found that there's things that they could be doing to really push at least parts of their business into a reframe and go strategy. So we're going to go through what those two camps mean. So the second part, we're going to discuss those frameworks and just discuss what that actually means for on-the-ground marketing tactics, how you should be allocating your marketing resources. And then we're going to go lastly into examples of some highly effective campaigns I've seen. We can do some Q&A after this, so if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, and I'll get to them at the end of this, and maybe that will be helpful. Otherwise, this will be pre-recorded, and as I say, I've got other videos, and you can always just get in touch with me directly after this, and these slides will be available, and the whole replay will be available. So just a bit about me. So I'm the founder of the Brainy Marketing. That's the agency I was referring to. We have been around for 5 years. I've been in the industry for much longer than that, but we've been running that agency, helping predominantly B2B agencies, B2B companies, with particular focuses, which you can check out on my site. Then I'm also the co-founder recently of Brainy Capital, which is a corporate finance boutique. My original background was actually in corporate finance, so I like to sit at the intersection of kind of thinking more commercially and strategically about things, not just from a marketing point of view. And so I actually partnered with people to start Brainy Capital about 6 months ago, which is a up-and-coming corporate finance boutique. If you're looking for equity, debt, invoice financing, it's quite topical right now. So if that's interesting, check me and us out there. The bit that I really want to draw your attention to, I've got some flexing here with B2B top 30, under 30. That's just a little flex over there. So not really as important as this over here, which is YouTuber at Brainy Marketing. So that is my YouTube channel. Been going for about 6 months. We're getting many thousands of views on it now. And what I like to do in there is explain concepts in digital marketing that are really to the point, really straightforward, and also practical that you can use in your company. And so I cover a lot of B2B stuff, and I'm going to just reference this channel as we go through, because I go in, if you want to go another level deeper in some of the things I say, chances are there'll be a video there. So I highly encourage you to subscribe, now or after. If you click on any of these links when you get the presentation, it'll also take you through. Right. So that's all of the kind of preamble to this story. So we're going to go straight into deciding what camp you're in. So coronavirus hits. It's shocking to everybody. Lots of businesses get taken out. That affects B2B businesses because we serve those industries. If you were in travel, if you were in entertainment, if these kind of industries, even restaurants and things, have been absolutely pummeled by what's gone on. And any B2B companies that have a particular focus on those industries will have been massively affected. And even some of your clients who might be serving those companies will pause stuff with you. So many B2B companies have had either pauses, outright companies folding, quitting. So you might have seen 10, 20, 30, 40% reduction in your number of clients. So that's the situation. Most companies haven't really escaped that. If you've been lucky enough to escape that, then you're actually probably not on this webinar. But if you are, kudos to you, covering all bases. But this is mainly for people that have had at least some sort of effect from this and are looking to how they can bounce back. So I'd say the bounce back quickly is the reframe and go category, and brand and pause is the I'm really needing to take a seat back here and let this play out and develop myself for after this is all over. So this is sort of so I want to cover this first. I think this is the most exciting, and it's going to get your juices flowing creatively. So let's just first start off saying you need to be targeting new industries. There are plenty of industries to be focusing on: e-commerce, SaaS, e-learning, parts of healthcare and pharma, connectivity, internet services, retail banking, retail finance doing really well. FMCG categories are doing really well. Media, electronics. These are all strong, big categories that if there's any way that your service set or, your product line or your service set could apply to any of these industries, whether that means you have to tweak your ad copy, whether that means you have to build a new advertising funnel or content marketing funnel just for, those new industries. Maybe you haven't specialized in those areas before, but you do have one or two case studies from back in the day where you need to, dress that up, and you need to create a content marketing funnel for one of these industries that really works, because they're going to have the money, quite frankly, to afford your services. They're going to be in the market. It's not to say that companies that have been affected won't need some of your services. They will, but we found that a negative messaging is much harder to pick up leads. So we when this all started, we actually produced a COVID-19 marketing survival guide, and we went out to companies we thought would be struggling, and we got ridiculously low cost per leads, £3 cost per leads on those through LinkedIn ads. But those leads were not great quality because they were saying, this is fantastic, this is exactly what I need to be doing. It's just I need to pause for now, but let's talk after this is all over, blah, blah, blah. So great conversations, just not something that's going to help now with improving the situation. So you ideally want to focus on opportunistic content that is aligned to helping your clients make the best out of the situation, using your services, or the implication being to use your services. So you want to target these new industries in a positive, silver lining content marketing type of way. And I'm going to get through the strategies in a bit. This is just the overview. So you're going to think really carefully about how you adapt what you're doing to fit into ideally just one of these categories or multiple. So that's what I mean. You're gonna have to align your services and lead magnets and whatever to the different themes within Corona that apply to these different industries. And you may actually even need to change your service delivery. So you may need to just think creatively about just switching up your delivery of services itself. Like maybe you need to have different people working now. Maybe there's only 10% of your business that is going to thrive and can do what I've just said, but the other 90% has to take a back seat. Well, you might want to be retraining people. You might want to be actually thinking about adding services that are feasible to add right now to capitalize. And you want to definitely, in terms of the channels you want to focus on, you want to drop the long time horizon stuff. If you're going to go with this, you want to drop things like, if you haven't been investing in SEO, now is not the time to invest in a 10K per month SEO strategy. Now is not the time necessarily to overinvest in certain channels that take a long time to materialize into actual leads down the down the way. And I think I really want to encourage everyone to think about outbound. We've seen that the cost per leads for things like cold email marketing and LinkedIn automation, so automated LinkedIn outreach, is doing incredibly well. There's a lot of people looking to have discussions if you get your messaging timed right and pushing the right levers, vis-a-vis the situation. So definitely think about outbound. If you have any preconceptions about cold email marketing or LinkedIn automation, I promise you that's just because you've been doing it wrong or you don't understand it. It's an amazing, they're amazing channels that will work. And if you want any more details, in my YouTube channel, I go through exactly how you can build your own cold email marketing systems, the right technology that you need to use, like everything. Hang on, let's go back there. Yes. So that's Reframe and Go. I want you to target these new industries, reframe your services, reframe delivery if needed, drop the long horizon stuff, focus on paid channels and outbound that can deliver leads, can deliver, like strong lead magnets that can collect stuff now by using what's going on with Corona to your advantage, and really focusing. The brand and pause, and there's undoubtedly going to be companies where this makes most sense. So now we're talking about this panel on the right here. You're going to need to think about things more as post-Corona. So if you are serving, let's say you're just specializing in travel, or like you're specializing in restaurants and pubs, like it's very difficult for you to do stuff now or to work with them. It may just be that your company has less things that apply here, and at least a significant part of your company needs to just be paused. And I'm not here to tell anyone how to run their business, but maybe you might be furloughing people. Maybe you might be someone who is furloughed. I'm not sure, but whether that's happening, that may be the right sort of temporary solution while this is going on. But that's not to say that you as a business owner or a marketing manager that's trying to advance cannot be really thinking about what the post-Corona, the government isn't going to audit your mind. It's not going to audit your brain to see whether you've been thinking on furlough, where you can't think because you technically you're furloughed, so you're not supposed to be working. Well, that doesn't mean that you can't think through strategy and think about actually building a proper inbound content marketing led end-to-end a marketing funnel, right? Where you literally have automated emails, automated sending of people to landing pages, really following the proper buyer's journey process to advertising and inbound to get loads of great clients after Corona. So that's number one, is you want to think about that future. That might mean relooking at the brand, might relooking at the website and the messaging, but also there's a sub-component of this, which is creating a content strategy for right now. And you might be thinking, well, why do I need a content strategy for right now if I can't work with anyone? Well, the truth of the matter is, when this is over, those companies that have really invested in the relationship with existing customers and people that were maybe in the funnel before, to really help them add value, like show them the silver lining, provide that positive energy. When it comes to after Corona, you're going to be looked at in a really good light as someone, that was really there with them, that had messaging that was on point. You can run webinars like this. You can do all sorts of things to keep connected with your potential audience, if not to sell them anything yet, just to add value. And that is what content marketing is about. You just want to add value. And after this, so if you maximize the time you spend creating value, then hopefully after this, you're going to find a lot more, friendly ears to talk to. So if you're not using marketing automation, now's the time to think about marketing automation, switching your CRM over to like HubSpot, just getting professional with this stuff, really building out different, content marketing funnels, like new lead pages, everything to really build a state-of-the-art marketing ecosystem for your B2B company. And so now's the time you can actually think through all that. You can watch videos, you can, do whatever if you're taking a step back, but really, that's the two camps. So I hope that makes sense, the kind of what I'm thinking about. And really, when I'm having discussions with companies, I see people fitting quite neatly into either of these two. There is sometimes like a blend where, like I said, 90% of the companies in here, but they've actually got a moonshot idea that they've been sitting on that hasn't been really developed. Well, now's the time to do stuff like that and try and make a go with it. We're seeing ridiculously good cost per leads across the board if you have great, fantastic content that is Corona related. So not just whining about Corona, but actually related, in some way that's positive for a specific industry, we're getting sub £5 cost per leads, £3 cost per leads, which is ridiculous, even for, like Facebook ads. I mean, that's ridiculous. So that's on LinkedIn I'm talking about. So really worth trying to see if there's some way you can fit into here. Cool. So that's the meat of it. So that's our kind of content strategy, if you want, like our thinking, our strategy of how to approach this. Hopefully it's given you some good ideas already. Now, how does that translate or trickle down into the actual marketing activities that we see working? Well, it's going to be no surprise that for the Reframe and Go people, it's very much around LinkedIn ads, content marketing, cold email, and LinkedIn bots. Now, all of these things, I've actually just produced a whole LinkedIn ads tutorial, how to set up LinkedIn ads from end to end, that sort of lead gen form ads. If you want, I'm going to link some videos at the bottom of this, but if you ever want to go to my channel, I cover LinkedIn ads, how to set up cold email marketing systems, how to set up LinkedIn bots. So hopefully that will be useful. But LinkedIn ads is where to go, especially if you're going to target new industries. You're not going to have any existing assets like a whole bunch of people in your LinkedIn Insights tags. You're not going to have any Facebook pixel data on these new industries. You might be going completely fresh to a new industry that's not your core. So you want to be thinking about LinkedIn ads. It's really quick. And like I said, you can still get those really low cost per leads, even though it's way more expensive to advertise on LinkedIn than Google ads or Facebook. You can be sure you're getting through to the right people, and you know that you're not going to be messing around with poor targeting, or the wrong people are going to be converting on your Google ads because they are, they're not qualified. They're just searching for what you do. LinkedIn is really good right now. So I highly recommend you look at your LinkedIn ads as the primary marketing channel. Like I said, you want to throw in some cold email and LinkedIn bots, some automated outreach. I mean, I can't get into these. These are two of my really most passionate subjects. The cost per lead on cold email and LinkedIn bots is very, very good. And I promise you, whatever your preconceptions are, both of these just work fantastically, and they work immediately. So all I can say is, if you need more convincing, watch some videos on my channel. But you really need to think about I tell you what, I'll spend 1 minute on this. I think a lot of people think, because I get emails from people that tick me off, I don't want to send cold emails because I don't want to be that guy or that gal. Well, that's not the way to look at it. I mean, I bet, and you can write in the comments of this of the chat later, anyone who can do this, but I challenge anyone to tell me who cold emailed them yesterday or who cold emailed them 12 days ago in their inbox. You just can't do it. You don't know who's in your inbox. People are cold emailing you left, right, and center. The only times you become aware of someone that really sticks in your head is if they are super annoying, very untargeted, and you can't unsubscribe, or it's just a mess. Their system is a mess. So if you do it incorrectly, yes, these things can damage your reputation. But if you do it properly, then the worst you're going to get is you're sending a really targeted, really timely email to the right type of person. The worst you're going to get is they're not interested and they're just going to move on. So that's the worst you're going to get. Nobody has the mental bandwidth to photographic memory snapshot every single person that emails them out of the blue. So it's going to be in one ear, out one ear, and you're dealing with 1, 2, 3% of people that you cold approach are going to want to have a call. So 1 to 3% positive response rate is typical, and it just works. It's the law of averages. It just works. If you do it properly, it just works. So think about that. It could be a very low cost solution for you going forward. So if you're going to do Reframe and Go, please look at these channels. The second bit, oops, there's a whoopsie there. I think I've missed out. Imagine there was a nice picture of a content strategy there. Whatever that picture might be. I'm not really sure what I would put there. Maybe someone thinking or something. But so pause and brand is pretty much what I said in the last slide. You're going to think about website redesigns. You are going to think about things like SEO if you've got time on your hands, looking at how you need to be aligning yourself with keywords for post-corona. Maybe there's changes because of that. Maybe these are just some of the things that have been on your to-do list for a long time. And it's time to really get on with it, basically. The only thing I probably didn't add here is this thing called customer nurturing. This is just like regular communication. So anyone that's already in your funnel, whether they're like a lead or they're an existing client that you can maybe upsell one day, really sending a lot of emails out to do with just value add stuff in this period. Like I said, that's that piece over here. So you'll be doing a lot of thinking. You have your thinking cap firmly strapped to your head if you're in this category. So okay, so that looked like a scary diagram, didn't it? But this diagram over here is just to show you, like, I mean, this is kind of when we talk about a funnel, like a proper content marketing funnel. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about awareness, education, solution, the buyer's journey type funnels. So you want to have lots of different landing pages per persona. You want to have, a really good database like HubSpot that is updating people and sending them tailored content based on their customer persona. You want to be integrating all of your channels, your outbound and inbound into that database. And you want to be nurturing people, because what this does is, if this is especially true for the people in the pause and brand, is you can build this, and when you're ready to go, when this is over, you're going to find that you can build a system where you just pack loads of people in at the top of the funnel, and actually your marketing automation is just going to self-qualify and self-administer all of those sort of quote unquote leads. It's going to self-administer them into their categories, and they'll just actually reach out to you. So that's the beauty of content marketing about the inbound methodology, is obviously that, you don't need to worry about picking up the phone to all of your leads. Your system is going to sort them out and basically qualify them for you to a stage where they know what they want, and they're just going to call you to discuss basically signing a contract. So when you do this right, that's literally as simple as your marketing needs to be. You just pump loads of leads in at the top end, and your system funnels them into clients, basically into basically very ready conversations. So that's the if any of that sounds new to you, don't worry, like that doesn't matter. I'm just saying now's the time to look into these things and to get familiar with them. And now you might have that time if you're in the brand and pause. If you're in the Reframe and Go, I would say, because the content is so timely, what we're seeing and advising some of our clients to do is just to call after the first step. So if you generate a lead from someone that's saying, how to maximize your revenues using these strategies in coronavirus, and they relate to your services, and they read that ebook, and they give you name, phone number, email, whatever, I would call that person immediately and ask them, how things are going for them, because it's a lot of people want to talk about Corona. So just calling them, saying, look, how was that ebook for you guys? Did you find it was useful? Would you add anything to that? We're really trying to add as much value as possible. Those can start off some really great conversations. And so just calling, you're going to get a pretty good result. And if people don't pick up, or you think it's not the best quality lead, you can just sit on it and make sure you have some follow-up content. You obviously send them the ebook, then send them some additional video stuff, send them things to keep them going. And you're going to want to score each person basically on the number of times they interact with your content along this thing. And so then you can prioritize leads that have a high score, a high lead score. So obviously, if you use a good enough database, you can actually score contacts based on how many web pages they view, how many emails they open, blah, blah, blah. And then you can sort your contacts by their lead score. So if you're not going to call them straight away, I would just wait till their lead score is high enough. So they might just get obsessed with your second round of content, and actually maybe just call them straight away. Call them as soon as you think it's feasible, because you can always go in with that softly sales / getting some feedback approach. So I mean, that's actually the meat of my campaign, guys. I hope you found that useful so far. The replay will be up. I know I talk a little bit fast, but I wanted to get through all of that because I really see that as the things that you should be doing right now. And this is coming from the horse's mouth. I'm a B2B company myself, a marketing agency. We're doing all these things. If you're unlucky enough to be in the healthcare industry, you'll see my ads everywhere. So this is I've focused on an industry where we've had some luck in, well, not luck, but we've been pretty good in, and really invested in the funnels for those, and made it very closely linked to Corona. So how healthcare companies can use the crisis to their advantage potentially. All of that sounds bad, but I mean, they can see a silver lining, and we detail strategies how they can do that. That's obviously catnip to a lot of healthcare businesses. They click on that immediately. It seems very focused, and then I send them videos of how to set up ads for their industry, blah blah blah, and it's only a matter of time before they reach out to me. So, or my team calls them. So here's just some examples of campaigns, just to show you some really good things. So this is an example of and I'll see if you can tell, but this is WorkHuman. So they're actually like an HR software tool, and obviously HR departments have been destroyed by this. Everyone's got hiring freezes on pretty much. Recruiters are all out of business, so there's no one even promoting candidates. I mean, the whole recruitment HR side of things has really taken a hit. It's one of those discretionary areas where, unfortunately, for whatever reason, business owners think they can do without, which is crazy because businesses are made of good people. So anyways, whatever your views are on that, these guys are pretty cognizant of that. And so what they've done is created this live stream where the CEO basically has a vision for making work more human in the most challenging times. So that's obviously referencing Corona. And talking about all these inspiring ideas for how this is going to change like human work. And so there's a lot of HR people who are furloughed right now who are all going to check in just to watch this, and those are all people now in his database, and he can drip feed them content. And when it's time to turn up the gas and start selling products, he's going to have tons of people. This is probably getting people at sub £5 cost per subscription, cost per registration, probably sub £3 cost per registration. And just under normal times, you really have to struggle to get those kind of cost per leads or cost per registration. So, you need to be, think creatively. It's not just about milking everyone for sales now. If you're going to be pausing and branding, think about how you can really get lots of people in your database for later. And then you've got these guys over here. They are a law firm. They're pretty big. I think they're Silver Circle or under. I'm not sure. They're a pretty big law firm. And one of their departments is commercial litigation, no doubt, commercial disputes. So they're clearly pushing their commercial disputes because they're saying, okay, hospitality industry is going to have some management agreements. Now they've obviously done their targeting badly because they're targeting me and I'm not in the hospitality industry, but I don't know, they should be targeting better, but this is a great ad. They're clearly pushing one of their service lines. I mean, their other work might be drying up in terms of the commercial side. Very hard to do business deals right now under circumstances, but litigation, I'm sure there's people suing each other all over the place. So, they might be having to look at how they use some of their staff who, rather than furloughing them, they take them off the finance team and put them in litigation because they all do secondments at these places. So all the ones that want to jump back into litigation can come back and, help with some of the cases there, and try and shift the resources of the law firm. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing that. And then another two quick ones, kind of a bit more obvious. HR software really taking use of this to, free remote work tool. It's Kiwi HR isn't just a free remote work tool. It's actually a lot of other things, but they're deciding to characterize it as a remote work tool because everyone's talking about remote work, but it's actually like a complete HR software solution. So, they're just capitalizing off the messaging. And then you've got Hihi over here. This is a phone system, like a VoIP phone system. Usually I've seen these guys do their ads more as a business use case where you could replace your phone, on your desk at work. Now they're talking about can replicate your entire phone system onto your mobile phone. They're talking about it more about from a work from home situation and not more about like the device, which should sit at work, which makes sense. I mean, people working from home probably not going to want to have something like this on their desk. So it kind of makes sense. So that's just 4 little examples there, and yes, so that's my piece done there. I hope this has inspired you to really, if you were feeling a bit down about things, or looking for some other inspiration, I hope this has at least done that. And at best, I hope it's given you some ideas into, what channels you could be looking at. And hopefully that framing of of this is helpful to you. I'm going to finish this now before we go to some Q&A if there's any. I can't see the chat, unfortunately, while I'm sharing screen. When I stop sharing screens, if there's any questions there, I'll go through them. But other than that, I just want to make you aware, inside this thing is going to be some video links to some of the ones that I think, based on this, if you're interested in anything in this, these are going to be the most likely ones you're going to want to watch. And otherwise, just check out the channel, and we'll be able to you'll be able to find out stuff there. Cool. So that's me done. If you enjoyed the talk, and if anyone's actually listening or there, give me a thanks or a what's up or whatever in the chat, and that will make me feel better. Let me go back to here. Yes, so I'm back. Great. Well, so that's actually the chat for today. That's half an hour. So if there's any Q&A, let me just have a look in this chat room over here. If anyone has any questions about this, please just let me know and get in touch. Or if you look at any of the YouTube videos, then you'll see a link to talk to me there. Yes, exactly. I think the admin team is saying you can always reach out to us on the general forum. So great. Well, I hope that was useful for everyone, and all the best. I really hope all of your businesses do really bounce back if they've been hit hard. Take care, everyone, on a personal level and on a family level. Obviously, keep safe and enjoy the content. Enjoy the rest of the conference. Take care.